I think I'm there. Are you there? Are you there? Hello?
All right.
All right.
There we go.
I got you.
Microphone's running. So that
Yep.
brought you in here. So this is live recording on YouTube.
All right. And the other
and
two?
then let me try to see what I can do here. I tried to message them directly.
Well, it took a while for me to get in here.
Okay. And then
like it made it look like I was in, but in another few seconds I was actually in. Why can't I?
Okay. So I sent it in the channels that I had open. This is the most rating thing on YouTube right now.
Yes, hooray for us.
My microphone shows up on the hardware like with different devices, so I have to go through different apps and figure out which one actually works.
Hey, what? Oh, I think people are there. There's Look at that picture. All right, I think we got everybody.
I think so.
All right.
Which I can't stay long.
It only took 40 minutes.
Yes, there we go. We have like 20 minutes to talk about. Okay, guys. So welcome to another exciting episode of the Super Awesome Geek Show. I'm John, your host, and bringing us all together after many, many trial and errors was Jason. Say hello. How's things this week?
Oh, it's okay.
All right.
I will never get tired of that.
Hi, Tyler. How you doing?
Good. How about you guys?
I'm doing well.
Good. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Yes, it has.
So what'd you think of Suicide Squad?
You know, I feel like I've heard a lot of hate and love from it from a lot of different people. I guess I'm kind of surprised because when I saw it, I wasn't really emotionally involved with it either way, honestly. So I feel like when people say they either really, really loved it or really, really hated it, I just kind of felt outside of the group because I didn't really feel like I had any connection to any of the characters or any of it really at all. So I was kind of, I guess, let down because I was at least hoping to hate it or something. But like I can see that they were really trying to make a good movie, and I think it almost was like gonna be a darn good one, but it felt like I 2 hours flew by and I was like, wait, what, did I watch a movie? Oh, okay.
Do you mean do you think it was just you just saw a bunch of people do a bunch of action scenes and that really was it, or?
Yeah, and I mean,
was it enough of a plot story?
I mean, it felt like they were trying to do a plot that wasn't necessarily the most original, which isn't necessarily a problem. You know, I mean, there's tons of movies and books and stories out there that don't have to necessarily be original in order to be good, but definitely felt like they were shooting for a lot all at once. And I think that they kind of like got in their own way.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, Jared Leto has come out pretty public and stated that he's pretty disappointed in how the final cut of the film has turned out too, saying that he worked really, really hard on playing his character, and he felt like he only got most of a total of like 15 minutes on screen time total.
Because of some of the edits and what they cut out?
So many edits. And honestly, I kind of just shoot it down to this. I think Warner Brothers is the big issue here, and I think that's the big reason why DC's having a hard time right now, kind of like picking the ball up right now. The animated films yet?
Oh, I keep up with the animated films, yeah.
I feel like it's like hit or miss here and there. Like some of them have been pretty decent. Like I thought that Son of Batman was actually not that bad.
Oh, it was good. Yeah, I liked it.
But other ones like the Aquaman, Throne of Atlantis one, I just despised that one.
I don't despise it, but it was not as good as the first one in that series. I was expecting more. There was something missing.
There really was. There wasn't as much substance. I mean, things are going to change around now, obviously. I mean, Jeff Johns has taken over, and he is co-writer for the Wonder Woman movie coming up. And honestly, if that fails, then I think that DC and I are going to have to take a long break.
I think you're mirroring what a lot of people have sort of felt on this thing. I did sort of enjoy watching the Suicide Squad movie. The extended cut is better than the original. But
I've heard.
Yeah, but still there's something lacking. And if I didn't know that thing about Jared Leto and having more to do with the film that they actually cut, because there's probably a lot more that was cut than the 12 minutes or whatever they put back in.
Exactly.
But
well,
I do agree that they're getting in their own way, because the Superman Batman movie, when that came out and they had that one that was 30 minutes longer, that is such a different film. And Rob and I both agree that if that was the one that people had seen in theaters, they would have loved it.
Absolutely. And some great filmmakers and people who are involved in production have come out and said the intention for a lot of things. And in a lot of ways, such as, and this is going to be a spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Batman versus Superman, but the scene where they're fighting and he's about to like straight up murder Superman, and then all of a sudden he's like, Martha. And that bond right there, I read a really good quote that stated the way that the writers and the director for the movie were trying to what they were trying to go for was Batman was so far gone he didn't even see Superman as another like human being in a way, quote unquote. And hearing that made him believe
a caring being with feeling.
A caring, yeah. And he didn't even see him as like a person.
Yeah.
And that was like what brought him out of that and making him realize like, oh, this is a person who was raised by humans, has human tendencies, considers himself a part of the human race. He didn't like think of these things.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. What Rob and I had said on the previous show. I only picked on asked the question because people out there have not heard from Tyler in a long time, and neither have we. So I wanted your opinion on a couple of items before we moved on. But I was, gosh darn it! What the hell was I going to say?
More technical problems.
Superman, Batman, the Martha, they were.
Did you want to talk about the Justice League? Is that the transition there, or
no? We were. It was. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. We can move on. Say hi, Christina, and then we'll start talking again.
Hey.
Hey.
What's up?
Not much. About you?
Nothing. Just enjoying the Seahawks game and talking to you guys and looking forward to Rogue One in 11 less 10 days.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, it's almost a week away.
Is it really?
Yes.
Wow.
I created a Twitter name for Rogue One. And no one else I have seen has, but that's okay.
I saw that in your email. What was it? What'd you make?
Mine says Christina Rogue Rebel.
Okay, I like that.
I could not get really creative, so, and I ran out of space several times. So,
I've still been thinking like nothing works for the Super Awesome Geek Show, but what could work for the John Adams one?
I feel like your name, like honestly, in its own, is pretty like awesome. I'm not gonna lie, like that's gonna be hard to pin down into something slightly more awesome. Because John Adams, first off, just kind of sounds like a title. First off, like first and foremost, like what's your name? John Adams. Look out.
Exactly.
Thank you, Tyler.
Absolutely.
I was thinking because he's Captain Andor, I could be Captain Adams. There we go.
Yes, and I'm loving all the little previews and all the toys and all the stuff, and we know not much about this movie yet. And
Yeah, that is true. Basically, all the previews have been the same, or they're recuts like of the
Yeah.
same material, just sort of in a different order. So,
and have you seen the was it Jimmy Kimmel? What's her name that plays Jen?
Felicity, right?
Yes, have you seen the clip of her on on Jimmy Kimmel where she explains to him how she fights?
No,
And
I didn't see it.
It's hilarious. It's a clip of her doing battle with him, and he's acting all scared, but then they do her whole scene where she whacks him, and she's not touching Jimmy Kimmel, but he acts it all out, and it's really cool.
I'll look it up. Or maybe we could splice it into the video part of this while people are when we're done.
Oh,
So, how many of you guys have seen DC Week?
DC Week?
The last week,
Crossover?
the crossover event with the aliens.
Oh
Just
no,
like
I've so behind.
Tyler, would you be upset if we talk about it a little bit, though?
No, go for it. Honestly, I mean, it's my own
I
fault.
don't mind spoilers anyway, so I'm just here.
Well, and plus, Tyler, you can add stuff from the comics and things, like. So, one thing you got to see though is they put up this crossover event had the Hall of Justice.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Did it really?
Yeah, it was so amazing, dude.
Barry Allen owns it. I'd forgotten
Yes.
that he technically owns All Star Labs, right?
It was so cool looking. I mean, you should throw it in Google. Check in. Look up the picture from the CW show.
I'm gonna try to do that right now.
Yeah, like just put in like a Hall of Justice CW or something. I'm sure it'll come right up. And then you can put it for shits and giggles. You can put in Hall of Justice Super Friends cartoon, and you'll be like amazed at how close it is when you look at them side by side. Christina and I were doing that earlier. Didn't you think that was amazing, Christine?
Yes.
Now, are they going to do this for the Legion of Doom?
Oh, and have the little pod come out of the swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because that the little
Oh my
teasers about the Legion of Doom forming.
Wow.
Oh, that would be awesome if they had the Legion of Doom. Like, that would be all purple and it'd come out of the swamp and
God, that would be so great.
look like Darth Vader's head.
Oh my God, it totally did. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You say Legion of Doom.
Years of my childhood.
You said Legion of Doom, and I'm thinking the Legion of Boom, but that's just my problem.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Darth Vader's eyes or something, didn't it?
No, it did. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Oh man, it totally does. Oh wow. This is so weird to see because that was like a big thing, like the one of the big shows that I watched as a kid. God, that was so cheesy. Wow, they really did get it down like a lot.
Yeah, it was so cool seeing it. I think that was one of the best parts. I don't know why, but it was.
No, I totally see why. Because dang, that's awesome that the shows are getting it so well put together. Because I didn't really think Smallville was that impressive, but this is really impressive.
Yeah.
They're taking it to a level.
Not you said Smallville, and it just made me think of something else. But I think I said it last time. I really loved how they introduced Superman on Supergirl.
Oh, that was great.
Oh yeah.
I think they picked a great guy to play him. I thought he has done. I loved him in Teen Wolf. I think he's done an amazing job as Superman. I just absolutely adore. You can mess after watching Lois and Clark and being on the set of Lois and Clark. I thought,
Really?
yes, I got to sit at Dean Cain's desk. That was amazing.
Amazing.
Cool.
But after that whole bit of Lois and Clark, and I thought Dean Cain played an amazing Superman, I thought, okay, they're really not going to find anybody else that great. And they didn't, I can't remember his name. Tyler,
Jones or
is
something like that? Yeah,
that his name?
something like that.
Yeah, I can never say his last name. But they've done well with him. I love the whole Supergirl with the DOA. Is it DOA? DEA? Whatever.
I think it was DEA, right?
Dio. I forget.
DOA. DOA.
DOA. I don't know if I'm really that thrilled about what's going on the Flash. I have to get to the crossover, but the different Wells, and this Wells left, and now what's his name's
Well, see,
Wally.
the actor is showing the versatility of his
Yeah,
craft.
he's very diverse. But I mean, the fact that they're going to have Wally become like a Flash type guy too, I'm just like, oh, come on, enough of this. I
No, but he has to have his sidekick, Kid Flash.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
He does. I'm glad. I'm sad that the girl Flash had to go back to her.
Oh, she'll be
Oh
back.
yeah. Jesse.
They'll have like a big, huge team. Yeah.
A team Flash,
Well, they'll have to because
the Flash family.
They're building up. They'll have to fight that big bad dude.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
him.
The Flash is one of those characters that, throughout his comics, even has. I feel he and the Green Lantern comics are like the exceptions to a lot of the syndication rules, kind of like the overuse of that character and their elements. Like, when Superman first came out, there was like a super monkey, super dog, super horse, all that jazz. And they all, God, it was just so bad. But they were just doing it because they were, it was making money. If you put the Superman symbol on something, it would sell. But Flash, I feel like, is an exception to that because of his timeline traveling abilities. And then for obvious reasons with the Green Lantern Corps itself. But the Flash, I feel like, it fits so perfectly with him. And having, like you just said, like the Flash family, it's going to happen eventually. I'm actually like really pumped to see that. Even if it's cheesy or if it's done really, 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 really well, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, what I want to see is a Flash family versus Gorilla Grodd army.
Oh.
Right.
But Gorilla City, they showed that, right now he's building his empire.
Andy mentioned it on the other guy mentioned on his world.
What was it?
I said the Wells, the new Wells mentioned it on his world.
Oh, did he? Oh, I missed that. The new Wells. He talked about Gorilla City.
He said something like because I think Flash was said something about the effect of Gorilla Grodd and how they sent him away, and then he went, "Don't tell me you got sentient apes on your planet too," and he went, "Oh, a whole village of them or something."
Yeah, I want to see him come back.
So I want Grodd back. Yeah,
I liked Grodd.
Grodd was good. I don't know what they. Well, his backstory in a lot of the comics is kind of like here and there. Does anyone remember the Justice League TV series, the cartoon? Like Justice League for Cartoon Network or whatever.
Oh yeah, the original one.
Yeah. I really liked what they did with that version of Grodd. That was good.
Like with the Unlimited and all that.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was. I think that was Unlimited. It was.
There was like Justice League, and then it led to Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
So that series, right?
Yes. It was like a whole 2 or 3 parter with Gorilla Grodd. Like, I think it was that he converted the world into apes or something like that, or he enslaved humans, something like along those lines.
Didn't he have like a mechanical helmet thing that he could then enslave people with?
He's got like an
Yes, he
amplifier.
did.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, quick question. So in the comics, is Caitlin, I know in the original world she was just regular Caitlin, but in the one world she was evil and she was the what did they call her?
Killer Frost.
Yeah, Killer Frost, but now she's starting to turn in this one, is she destined to become Killer Frost, or is she like a?
I mean, she kind of, and this is the thing too, and this is also spoiler alert for anyone who doesn't know anything about Firestorm at all. Like, okay, like pause. Okay. Killer Frost is the main bad guy for Firestorm.
Yeah. Okay. I liked the whole progression of Firestorm. I thought that was pretty cool.
No, that was really, it was pacing a little bit slow, I think, in my opinion, but I think that they ended up like on the right path, and I can dig that.
Yeah. So I gotta ask, is in the comics, because I don't know as much about DC. So in the comics, because here's what I can imagine, because I know that it used to be the same in the comics. It was two different people that were the professor, and this one guy was Firestorm, and then later on it became the kid and the professor being Firestorm. Just sort of like how we got to see it in the TV, but I think it was just different people, right? Different names or something. Yeah. I don't know. But was there the connection between one of the Firestorm characters and Killer Frost, Caitlin Snow in the comics, like there was in the television show? And then therefore she would carry, like I'm thinking, if she becomes evil and has a grudge against, say, Firestorm in the television show, I could easily see it being a grudge against the professor, which then carries over to Firestorm, because the professor was thrown back to our world while Robbie Amell disappeared.
Right.
So she could blame him for the loss of the love of her life, right?
I don't think they're going to make her any more evil than she already touched on that a little bit. I don't think they're going to throw away that character.
I don't think it's going to be throwing it away, but I definitely could see them utilizing her as a villain that you can empathize with in the future. And I mean, some shows have done that before too, where it's a character that ends up falling down the wrong path and you still sympathize with them because you've spent so much time, liking that character, who they were before they transitioned. I mean, that's the whole staple behind.
But if she goes full on evil, she's not going to be in a room in the room, the brain center, like strategizing them. They won't be able to trust her.
That's true, but when you're thinking about like soap opera dramas, I think that's kind of storyline.
Let her do. She might kill a few people secretly, but I don't know if she'll really go fun. Put on the outfit and just start murdering people.
That with Professor Zoom, I mean, at the very beginning, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he's so great." I mean, you knew all along that he was a bad guy, and you were just waiting for the tide to turn, and for it to be, okay, now everyone knows that he's the anti-Flash Professor Zoom, what have you, and people were still invested in that character because of like him being like a father figure to Barry Allen. He was a bad guy, So I mean, it could be said that.
I think they got a freebie with that one. Is there's so many different versions of Wells now?
That's true.
Those Wells cracked me up. This what was it? This last Wells, artistic type Wells. I was like, "What? This guy is far out, man."
Yeah, I keep thinking that the new Wells is like up to something terrible.
Yeah, me too. I don't trust him.
Right? It feels like the whole thing is an act.
Yeah.
But like he went back, so there's no current Wells unless a new one's back again.
Well, have you seen that? There's the crazy Wells, right? He didn't go back, did he? The one that turns out he's not really an inventor. He's more of an idea guy.
The Wells with the daughter went back, and he helped pick the Wells that came back. That was the idea guy. Yeah.
That idea guy, I'm not too hot about.
Right.
He could die, and I'd be okay with that.
But I think he's up to something.
Yeah, I think he's something too. Yeah.
But okay, so when I last left talking to Jason, I believe I brought it up to Christina and was it Michael? We were all talking about this, I think, and one of the other episodes where originally we were thinking alchemy. Now, Tyler, alchemy is a character that has appeared in this latest season, and what he's doing is if a character had powers in another universe or dimension or whatever you want to call it, different Earth 316 or whatever.
I'm thinking of Flashpoint.
Yeah, think about Flashpoint kind of stuff. He could pull out the powers in the person in the current Earth and they would become that person with power. So that's how Caitlin got her powers to become Killer Frost, you know, because she's getting her frost powers is what's going on. Well, we were thinking that perhaps it was Cisco, and the motivation was that when Barry changed the timeline in Flashpoint, Cisco's brother, right, disappeared.
Died.
Was dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I don't think they're going to go that way there now, though, because of that last Legends episode.
Yes, because
I think they had that in their back pocket, but how would you redeem that character?
Yeah.
If he's been doing all this evil, and it's hard to walk away from that really cool character that everybody loved much.
Now, and you saw who it was then, Jason, right?
Oh, no, I missed this. No.
Oh.
So I skipped ahead a couple episodes because I had to get into the crossover, and I figured crossovers wouldn't reveal too much. But so they have fully revealed who Alchemy is.
They have fully revealed who Alchemy is, yes. And
Fantastic.
It was not someone I would have expected. And
all right.
Yeah,
I'll have to watch that episode. All right.
Yeah,
I got a little bit of catching up to do.
I just want to say it's interesting because it kind of crosses over to a couple of shows, I think. You'll have to let me know when you see who it is. All right. We'll stick with what we know from the crossover event then. And now in the crossover event, did you see the other Speed guy? Okay, then
Wally?
you don't know about that either. All right, I'll leave that out too. I didn't know if that was in the crossover or not, but I guess it wasn't.
Okay.
So you have a couple episodes of Flash to watch before you get.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did see there's the rival.
Yeah, but no, there's something.
There's more speeds. All right.
Well, you know from the comic what controls it all, right?
I mean, are you talking about the Speed Force? I mean, I don't know where you're going with this.
Tyler?
Who controls it all? What do you?
Yeah, what are you talking about there? What controls it all? Like
the
Speed
the
Force?
Godspeed?
Oh.
Yeah, they're bringing all that in.
Right now?
Yeah.
That's weird. That's a new character.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Yeah, they're bringing all that in. So you have something to look forward to, Jason.
All right,
well, now I know what I'm doing the next couple months.
Yeah, catch up on Flash, guys.
That's interesting that they're doing that.
So,
okay.
But anyways, so the crossover event started with Supergirl, right? And all we really got to see was a couple of portals.
It was not a real crossover. It was like a prequel crossover. I wish we'd gotten a full episode with her.
Yeah.
You get nothing.
Yeah, we got a couple of little portals trying to open up, so we got a taste of something going on.
That's not a crossover. That's like a teaser for next episode.
And mostly it was just an emotional episode about her sister coming out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And then we went on to Flash, right?
Flash was next, yep.
And Flash is where we got Flash is where we got him. Let's see.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Jason, do you know about Godspeed?
A little bit. I'm just suspicious they're actually going to do that in the show, though.
I know, that's weird. Well, I haven't really
because I've seen it, so I can't really judge. But it also could be like I feel like a couple of times they kind of throw us off, where they do something where you blatantly think, "Oh, what they're doing," and then nope. Like kind of like the Killer Frost thing. Like I really thought that the Firestorm, her husband, was a whole thing, and then they got rid of Rob. So, but things are kind of fluid as people are writing and actors kind of develop their characters.
Christina's got to run, so I'm going to say goodbye, Christina.
Oh, all right.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
I love this. You guys keep talking it on, and I can't wait. If we talk next week, we'll get to really be hyped up about Rogue One.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Boy.
But so what were you going to say, Jason? You were continue?
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember now. I have two issues. I have 2 points I want to get to, though.
Go.
Okay. So one, what did you think about the whole scene with when Green Arrow talking to Supergirl and telling her basically to stay back. Like he needs more normalcy. It's in the Legends episode, I believe.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting reaction.
It was really awkward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I think I have an explanation for it.
I almost think it was just sort of like
He was just being an ass.
yeah, but I mean,
Well, I mean, he's Green Arrow.
So here,
I could
yeah. So
I
here's
just
what I
kind
think
of
is that he
accepted
does,
the way he. I guess I felt off when he did it. So Tyler Green Arrow tells Supergirl kind of like in a very stern way that I don't need you on this team and I don't need your help to stop these aliens from invading. Just stay here in this room and the rest of us are going to go out and take care of this ourselves because we're human beings and you're not. And and then when he explained, which I thought was off, but then when he explained it at the end of the episode by saying, you know, you were an alien, I don't have any idea. I didn't at the time have any idea how to fit you in to his arsenal. You know what he's saying? Like in his head, he's looking at everybody on the team as a weapon, and he knows how they act because they're human beings, but he didn't know how to deal with an alien in his group of tools or arsenal.
well, that goes to the thing of he's not a leader. He's just being thrust in this position. He's like a killer, but for now, he's got this whole team he's leading. But over and over again, we've seen where he's just not very good at. Even with this crossover event, he says Barry's the leader of this. I'm not leader of this because everyone just immediately looked towards Green Arrow as being the leader. He wants nothing to do with it because he knows that's not his strength.
That's true. I see what you're saying,
And
I mean,
and this is just one more screw up.
Tyler.
well, I mean, I think that's a fair point because I mean, in majority of the earlier part of the show, like season 2 and 3 and such, whenever he took over leadership roles, he dropped the ball a lot. He would fumble and kind of felt awkward and out of place. And it's very obvious that he wants to do the right thing and he thinks that he can do it. And obviously with the help of others, but I mean, he definitely turns towards other people to take over leadership roles.
And
Yeah, which also be too overpowered just in personality wise where he has to control everything. Gets to have somebody else maybe do a little more delegation.
Yeah. I mean, in the comics, when he was crossed over with Green Lantern, he, ran in politics. So I mean, he has leadership qualities that we've seen, Oliver Queen overall before having qualities like that before. I'm wondering if maybe the reason they're doing this in the show is because that's kind of the role Batman has when talking to Superman with the Justice League.
Yeah, I feel like they're a little going towards that direction, but I'm not entirely sure that's really their intent. I wonder sometimes. Like I see the interactions between Flash and Green Arrow, and I totally see that.
Yeah.
But this one felt a little different. It was a little awkward. I wasn't sure like if it was awkward intentionally or
Did you feel it was like betrayal to the character or?
No, because he was kind of doing that that Green Arrow gruff like no personality act.
Okay.
He kind of gets in that mode sometimes, and so it's hard to tell like what he's doing
Or like what he's thinking.
But it was good. Yeah. I got
I totally
with it.
well, I was just thinking about like how when I was a kid and watching, just because they brought in, the Hall of Justice and all that, and I just flash back to watching Super Friends. When I was a kid, no matter who showed up or whatever happened on Super Friends, I always took it as Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman were the ones that were in charge.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if we were going to make that analogy in this world, it'd be Supergirl, Oliver, and then I guess the Flash, right? Because those are the three big ones in the CW universe, right?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Well, plus those are the big three that are, so you got two males and then a female. One like super powered. One is the gruff, like thinking tactician who's like, "Don't talk to me, I'm trouble." Bleh. And then the very like thought processed but very caring individual who just wants everyone to be okay. So I mean, yeah, you have definitely the Trinity role there.
Yeah.
I think they do. I really enjoyed some of the actions between the Flash and Green Arrow, and they're talking like when I think the second episode where they're attacked by the aliens, and just their interaction when they're trying to. I think Supergirl was mind-dominated, and she was like using her laser vision, and they're to hide, and he was basically saying, you know, whenever you show up, everything just goes to hell.
Yeah, I like. Wasn't it? Weren't they like? It was in the Flash where they were behind those things, and he's like, "You brought me over for this," or something like that.
It's just a dude with arrows. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Another thing I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
Okay, make this point.
Oh, next one. All right.
The Dominators, I think they were totally lying. So they claim that they were coming there because of Gallon's time travel and the metahumans, right? But then they leave so quickly after being fucked. I think they will Barry Allen for his time travel abilities.
I could see that.
And when they couldn't get it, they decided to leave.
Interesting.
Because they gave that speech about, we've seen this happen with other planets. I think that's all BS.
Well,
it would also be why we didn't get the full force, right? It could be a faction within the Dominators that want time travel ability.
I mean, take this into consideration if they're following continuity, at least somewhat, which they have been doing a pretty good job of. I would wonder if they're referencing something that they've experienced with the Guardians from Green Lanterns.
Oh yeah, that could be. Yeah, it felt like when the alien was explaining it, like this is something that kind of happens with other planets. Is that, you know, eventually, well, obviously not metahumans, but whatever's Martians or whatever start appearing, and then things just kind of go to
crap
there.
Yeah,
but it was kind of weird because all they wanted was Barry Allen.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I think they maybe somehow detect the time travel, because it's hard to tell how desirable. I mean, this is our first real encounter with aliens within the Supergirl stuff. How valuable time travel is out there.
Well, I mean, you've also got the Martian Manhunter. So, I mean, it's not necessarily like, well, it's the first time that there's been violent aliens. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you did have the power to detect time travel, it'd be an incredibly valuable thing. You would go across the galaxy and almost destroy an entire planet to get that ability.
Yeah. What, the ability to travel or to detect time travel?
Or to time travel. Yeah. Just an idea.
Okay.
It's odd that they just gave up so quick. But, you know, the typical alien invasion.
Yeah.
Lost this battle. We're going home.
All right, this sucks, guys. We gotta go. I gotta go home. Oh, come on.
Well, so the really thing that's going to get you is, would they have invaded if Barry had never created Flashpoint, right?
Oh, yeah, we don't. That's why I was wondering if maybe they detected their travel.
Yeah,
and that's what
okay.
made
I
them
see what you're
come in.
saying. Yeah.
So how many has he messed with the timeline now?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. At least
Yeah.
3, right?
Well, and then Professor Zoom, and
Yeah.
so there's been quite a few.
Yeah.
I guess the other question is why Barry over any of the other speedsters? Is it that he's the only one available, or?
Yeah, probably the only one available and the only one that they could get to willingly turn himself over without a fight.
Right.
Plus,
Because they're basically, oh, turn yourself over and we won't kill everyone.
Right.
And so, of course, Barry's like, okay, fine.
I'm Barry. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Man,
No.
I haven't heard the Dominators in a long while, and that was actually that answered the question that I was curious about. Because wasn't their first appearance like some sort of like a mini crossover event in like the 80s or something?
yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I think it was like even Todd McFarlane who was responsible for that one.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when they did the little teaser of it. I was like, oh my gosh. Well, it also works pretty good with the TV show because with mind control, you don't need to do the special effects for every interaction with the alien.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because I know that's when I hear them talk, that's always Paramount, and their thoughts is like, oh, this could be awesome, but how much money is it going to cost to make?
Right.
Budget on one episode, only the hardcore fans really like.
I'm impressed just that basic television these days has been able to get the budget that they do. Because I mean, think about most any other show, television getting this kind of budget. It's impressive. It's really shown how far we've come as far as production value.
Yeah, I've been thinking that these CW shows have been far better than some that were out even a few years back.
Absolutely. And I mean, sure, we've had like CG and other kinds of special effects before, but I mean, this is nuts. This is impressive.
I think what was it? Kevin Smith, when he was directing one of the
He
episodes,
directed
said,
one, yeah.
He did.
he was saying that they do like a very light special effects when they're doing, say, editing, right? So they don't render the whole. And he was like, these rudimentary special effects just to see how it's going to work better than special effects from Dogma, like the finished stuff, just how quickly things move. And this is also not a true movie; it's just one episode of a season of TV.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I was what the crap, man! I am like losing it today.
So what do you think of what's Brandon Routh was his name, when he's like how Supergirl kind of reminds him of his cousin?
Oh yeah, that was a good line. That's right. No, yeah. I was gonna say, what'd you think of? Okay, wait. So no, you saw the new costume for Steel because you watched the thing, yeah. Yeah. Do you like that or not? I think it's a bit odd.
Bit over the top, but
right,
his kind of over the top, like
all right.
He's a big dude, like that ridiculous outfit is down.
And then I got to thinking that, man, when I saw him fighting, I was like, he could take on this whole group by himself because nothing can penetrate him. I'm like, he only need like Supergirl and him. Everybody else can just hang out.
Yeah, well, he hasn't necessarily tested his powers all the way. We haven't seen if he can get dented yet. That could be bad.
Oh yeah, because then when you come back, your rib would be broken. And now, have you caught up on Legends? Did you see?
I think I'm 2 weeks behind each of them.
Jonah Hex?
I want to say. Yeah, I have not seen Jonah Hex return.
Okay.
He was in a previous episode, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yes.
I seem to remember.
This will be the second one with Jonah Hex.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. The funny thing is I was never a big fan of the character. I mean, I knew of him. I knew he was around and stuff, but I like it when they show up on cartoons as a guest or like on the TV show like this as a guest. That's when I love these extra characters, just for a brief moment, let's bring this guy in, and I think they're pretty cool, but I'm not going to go off and read a comic book series based just on him.
Well,
do you get what I mean?
This version I might.
I mean, I think what you're saying, because I mean, their characters are kind of sort of meant to be like just additional characters sometimes, and I think that there's been some success with some side characters before. Do you guys remember the story King Lear from Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story actually by one of my favorite authors called, his name's Christopher Moore, focused on the jester in King Lear. And it was a really good seller. And sometimes that works. Sometimes characters that are meant to just be additional characters come out on top. Moon Knight is another example of that. He was a
Deadpool.
Perfect example. But I think it's about how it's done. Jonah Hex has not had a lot of people, I think, that have given him the chance, to shine. And I think that that's been like the limitation there. But the other thing is, how do you get people to get excited about these characters when, there's not been that much story about them in the first place, except for like these little side character missions here and there. So you pump them into the shows, you pump them into the side, as a guest character in these short stories here and there. And that's what makes people like them. So then you go off looking for it.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, you're right.
You guys remember the Jonah Hex movie?
That's right. Was it come out?
And the only reason I loved that movie was because my favorite band did the soundtrack to that.
Oh, who did the sound?
Mastodon.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the guitarists, Brent Hines, was one of the guests on it. But I mean, other than that, the movie was just not that great.
Oh boy, I forgot about that one. Huh.
I mean, most people did. Oh my god, I just remembered something. Michael Fassbender. I think that he was in that movie. Yeah, he was. Oh man, he was one of the villains.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. Dude, it's weird seeing people who like go on to do something like wicked cool, do stuff like that. I was watching an old episode of Firefly, and Zac Efron was in an episode.
Did he get
Like,
shot?
in there.
Did he get shot?
No, he was a kid. He played Simon the Doctor.
Huh.
Little things here and there. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just kind of like how, a lot of us grew up. Drew Barrymore was in E.T. and now she's, it's like growing up with an actress, right? I don't know, weird.
Very true.
Or you see the Leon, the professional, right? And Natalie Portman, right?
Yep.
And you're just kind of,
That was
whoa, that's Natalie Portman?
How many kid actors end up doing that? God, I really hope they don't end up like rebooting E.T.
I was thinking the other day, like, I was a little surprised that they haven't tried to do anything with Back to the Future.
I'm kind of happy that they haven't.
Oh, I am, but I'm surprised.
Yeah. Well, I think that would be kind of hard to do, like, right now, because I think Christopher Lloyd's really over it, and Michael J. Fox is, like, pretty much retired.
Yeah, he's having a hard time acting unless he's in a chair, I think they said.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, well, I mean, even then, I guess, like, with the Ghostbusters movie, they didn't even really have very much of the original cast, did they? Didn't they have, like, one member?
Oh, 3 of them were in there, but they were just as, like, cameos. They had one line,
I didn't even bother seeing it, honestly, because I heard it was bad, so... I've been studying up for Rogue One a lot, and I've been really excited about seeing it, but I have been coming across a lot of people who've been making a lot of really good comments here and there saying, like, what if, like, Hollywood didn't decide to start doing all these different reboots and everything? What would happen if all these reboots and sequels and everything didn't start coming out? Like, what if the success of nostalgia Hollywood enterprise wasn't out there? Would we get stories like this, and are they based off of certain books and stuff like that? Kind of like makes you think, like, characters and stories that we all love. I wonder if they would, because let's be honest, a lot of shows and a lot of movies have affected either the books they're based off of, or the movies are influencing the comics that are coming out, etc. They're bouncing back and forth. It's kind of wondering if nostalgia never, like, made it as a hit part of enterprise in Hollywood, would we have the stories that we have coming out right now?
Well, yeah, no, I don't think so, but we would have different things. Like, I actually think that they would look to new, like, it would have been new things being new franchises, I guess. Like they would go to more of the young adult books, like Fablehaven would be a movie, and what was the other?
There would have been fewer Michael Bay movies. That would be cool.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's just all those James Patterson Maximum Ride things. Well, they actually did make a movie of that, didn't they? Now what's coming up is there's only 1 or 2 things. I don't know, because I guess we'd have the same but less. Because I was just trying to think, and I'm like, no, everything except one book has been a movie or is being made into a movie that I can think of that people ask for or talk about at work. And I'm like, so yeah, we'd have the same stuff coming out because everything that people write gets turned into a movie these days. And then we just have less because we wouldn't have the nostalgic stuff coming back.
Yeah. And at what point do they stop doing nostalgia? Like, at what point are they like, okay, 98, done. 1998.
Well, there will be a point, but then what'll happen is the people who grew up with this set of films and stuff will then get to the age where they are making movies, and then they will be nostalgic towards.
Oh God.
And then the stuff will continue. You know what I mean?
Double nostalgia.
Right.
It can be
Oh, my
endless
Lanta.
feedback loop.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lanta. That's a really that hurt my heart. Oh.
Because yeah, I mean, like if I'm understanding some of that stuff that I've seen from the press releases from Hasbro and everything, it's that they're, you know, how they did with the comics, Tyler, where they made all these they brought back all the old toys like Micronauts and Mask and things, ROM and a few others, and they've made them all into a comics that are in the same universe as Transformers and G.I. Joe. So they're sort of saying that these things all exhibit the same, inhabit the same universe, the same galaxy, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
It sounds like they're doing their own studio. If it isn't either, I bet it's already started. But if we haven't already I don't know if we've already seen a film from it yet or not. But they have All Spark Studios now for Hasbro, and it sounds like they're going to be making because the next Transformers film after this Lost Night or whatever that's coming out, the rights revert back to Hasbro, and Hasbro's going to do it in their own studio under Allspark, and Michael Bay's done. And they're going to do Gen 1 and things based on IDW Comics storylines and stuff like that. And my hope is they get some of those guys to actually write and help with the film, because then we might actually get good Transformers movies. But we were wondering, Jason and I were talking the other day quickly at work. We were just like, what about like what if they made this like G.I. Joe and Mask, and like what other things could make sense in today's market to being in films, like if they were to actually make live action movies and try to connect them into one universe, you know? I mean, Micronauts might work, but I'm not sure ROM would work these days. You know, Mask will work, but I'm not quite sure G.I. Joe is going to work, you know, no matter what you do.
I've got it the way you make G.I. Joe work. It's a rated R G.I. Joe.
It's what?
Rated R.
Oh, yeah, like
just ultra-violent.
Ultra-violent one. Okay. Like
that'll be the big change you change in G.I. Joe. People get shot.
Make it like Rambo.
Yeah. After what, it's been 20 or 30 years, whatever, of G.I. Joe, finally people start dying, and all over the place. Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, like, we were talking about the G.I. or the. I mean, Rambo was incredibly violent, but they still made toys. Granted, that was a different time, but
yeah,
I would much rather see that Joe movie than.
What's that, Tyler?
I was just gonna say I miss the G.I. Joe little here's a life lesson learned at the end of every episode.
Oh, and knowing it's half the battle, that stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's the best.
That was awesome. You could still do that, but it'd be like geared towards adults.
Yeah,
they should.
Yeah.
You know, they
have freaking Bruce Willis at the end of an episode.
Use a
like,
condom.
Use a rubber.
Or they could have they could have it at the end of the movie, and they'd be like, in today's movie, 5,036 people got blown away by bazookas, machine guns, and bazooka. And in real life, you shouldn't shoot people. Oh, thank you.
The more you know.
Have you
seen?
There's
bright future.
Oh God, so craziness. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube that parody the "knowing is half the battle" things, where these guys just come on and just dub over videos. It's the most. It's ridiculous and nonsensical, but I laugh every time. It's too much, man.
Yeah, those are great.
I reference it to my friends all the time. If you show it to anybody who's like normal, they're gonna look at you and be like, I don't know about you, buddy. But
that's right.
If you're like us, you probably think it's hilarious.
Pork sandwiches.
What was that, Jason?
Oh, they had a number of saying like catchphrases like pork sandwiches.
Yeah, you're right.
That was when the guy's house was on fire, and the little kid's like, "Pork sandwiches."
Oh my God. Okay.
All right.
So,
we should go for the night, right?
All right. Sounds good.
Right. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
I love you.
Yep. Thanks. Now that I know that, half my battle's done.
I
Tyler.
know.
Thanks, Tyler. Bye,
Thank you.
Jason.
All right. Have a-
Hey, and so this is up on your channel, Jason?
That's an interesting as to where this lives. I've got like a whole bunch of files. I will send you the link.
Yeah. Find it and let me know. All right. Thanks. See it. Bye.